So this is the hardest version, and at the top it says most difficult version. You get to keep 100% of the points that you earn. Let me put myself there. Hello. So it's just basically what we did. You get 3 pieces of paper and you tape them together, and then across the bottom of the sheets, right along here, you draw cross-section diagrams of all these 6 things, and then across the top you draw a corresponding satellite view of all those 6 things plus a transform boundary. And then in the middle, I've got to kick my dogs out. I'll be right back. Or at least lock one dog out.
Hurry here.
Good. I can have 1 dog, not 2 dogs. So this next part says above the plate features, label the boundary or hotspot. So once you do that, then you follow the checklist and make sure that you've drawn all the volcanoes and just go down the checklist and do everything. Put the water in the ocean, put the seafloor sediment where you need it, shade everything light and dark. Then you go down and label the things, and then you label some stuff more dense or less dense. And then on the satellite view, you label some more things, and then finally you explain a few things. And I think that's very doable. And if you do that, you get to keep 100% of the points that you earn. So if you get it all right, it's 100. And you know exactly what's going to be on the test ahead of time, so there'll be no surprises. You can practice this as many times as you want at home, and we'll practice in class too. So that's first option. And I'm going to jump now to the easiest option. Easier version, earn up to 80%. In fact, let me switch to this camera, which probably has, oh shoot, switch to my GoPro. So I've got the easy version here. Put a picture of myself there again. So with this one, there are 3 versions. The medium one, you get to keep 95% of the points that you earn. So if you get everything right, you get a 95. On the hard version, the one I just shared with you, if you get everything right, you get 100. But on this, even if you do everything right, you only get 80%, because this is a lot easier. So with this one, you're not going to start with blank sheets of paper. You're going to start with, since I've got a GoPro, let me use the wide angle feature on it. And then we'll probably be able to see a bunch. Let's see. All right. Yeah. So this is what you'll get. You'll get this drawing at the bottom, the cross section. It's pretty much got everything in it. It's got the mantle that's already shaded. It's got the plates that are either dark or light, depending on if they're ocean or if they're continent. It's got the volcanoes with, you can see this has got light and dark in it. And, hold on, sorry. Light, crud. If I push this too far up, that's the problem. There's the hotspot, and then these little boxes right here, these are for writing the names of the things. So what you would have to do on this one, and then are also up at the top, you've already got the map. You'd have to do things like this. Part 1, you've been given 3 sheets of paper, tape them together. So you have to tape your paper together. That's easy. Across the middle, write the names of the plate boundaries that are shown. So you are going to have to know that this is ocean and this is continent, and they're convergent. And I would let you get away with ocean, continent, convergent, just like that. You don't have to write the whole word out. That's fine with me. And this would be ocean, ocean, divergent. So that's what you do in part 2. Write the names of them. Then in part 3, this is labeling things. So you label at least one subduction zone. On the other options, you have to label as many of them as there are, but this is just one. So here, this thing right here, this is a subduction zone. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, just showing that you'd have to label all these things. Mid-ocean ridge, that's right there. New ocean crust forming, you could label that there, or over here. Composite cone volcano, that's this one, or this one. So that's the kind of thing. And then I am going to want you to do the more dense or less dense thing. So you have to label the seafloor sediment, which this would be some seafloor sediment. You could label this. And then you have to either decide whether that's more dense or less dense. That would be less dense. On the satellite view diagram, and at least one, label each of the following in at least one location: composite cone, shield cone, hotspot. So you have to go up here and label the things too. So here would be the hotspot, and these would be shield cones. These are composite cones, because they go with this. This is the same thing. So you label some more stuff. I'm not doing everything. And then finally, explain why the plates in the mantle move. Choose one moving plate, add a label explaining why it's moving. So you could just choose this, and you could say the plate moves to the right because the mantle below it moves to the right and it floats on it. And then you also have to explain one rising current and one sinking current. So you could pick a rising current right here and say this rises because it's a hot place, so it's less dense. And then you pick a sinking current and say this sinks because it's a cool place and it's more dense. So with this, you've got all this already drawn for you, and that makes it a lot easier. So that's why I'm not going to give you all the points if you do this. You can earn up to 80 points. If you do all this, you get 80%. If you do everything, like you get the blank version of this and you draw it all yourself and you label everything, you get 100%. And then there's another option that's not all that different. I mean, you can get 95% of the points, and let me show you that. I haven't printed one out, but I can show you what you'll get. So the medium version, this is the sheet describing it, but I think it's probably most helpful if I just show you what the diagrams look like. Unfortunately, this is one page at a time. So this is what you get if you do the 95% version. If you look at this, this is the left page, this is the center page, and this is the right page. So you can tell by shapes of things and by the water in the ocean whether you've got ocean crust probably underneath there or continental crust. There are no volcanoes drawn here. You can see this is the tall mountains, continent convergent. So for that one, you have to do all the shading, all the drawing of the volcanoes, everything else. So you have to do just about all of it so you can keep 95% of the points. I think tomorrow in class we'll do some practice with this. The one thing I'm a little bit concerned about is the blue people. You're not, unless you have a printer at home, you won't be able to print out these pictures that I have for you. So you're going to have to practice and make your decision without being able to print out the sheets of paper. The people who are there at school, the gold people, I'm going to print all these out for you. So you can try this out and see what you think. We'll probably have the test, the actual test. Maybe we'll try it for the first time on Friday, and anybody who likes your score gets to keep it, something like that. And then you could get another try it later on. This isn't the kind of thing we just have to do once and be done with. So we can work on it for a little while. Let me show you one other thing. This is just reminding the gold cohort. We'll practice a little bit on this, but remember you've got a retake over the plate boundary names and real world examples. That's the practice quiz that looked like this. That's going to be tomorrow too. So we'll meet together as a class tomorrow, and then we'll do this for the gold people. All right.